Now that we are just a little more than a week into this NBA season, we're already seeing records being broken and the rumor mill stirring up. Here at Hoop Central, we have 5 bold predictions for this action-packed season ahead. So let's jump into it. Our first bold prediction is that the Brooklyn Nets will be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. This Nets team is like the Suicide Squad of the NBA, led by 2 of the biggest anti-heroes the league has ever seen, with rumors of a third villain joining their ranks in James Harden. Coming into the season, the biggest question was the health of superstar Kevin Durant due to the Achilles injury he suffered in 2019 against the Raptors. It's been a while since we've seen Durant in an NBA game, and I feel many have lost perspective of just how incredible of a basketball player he is. Barring from injuries and off-court chatter, this man pretty much has no weakness on the hardwood. I believe Durant is coming back with a vengeance. Not only that, but the stigma that surrounds the Achilles injury as something of a career ender will also change. We have seen Kyrie as the number 1 option on the Celtics. Admittedly, there was a disconnect between him and the rest of the team. Irving is at his best when he is the secondary star on a team, just like in the Cavs days with LeBron. So I think it's best to watch out for a more focused Kyrie Irving alongside Kevin Durant. Now that the youngsters on the Nets have tasted playoff basketball, there's no doubt they will be hungry for more this season. See, there's this confidence in knowing that your team made the playoffs without Durant and for the most part, Irving also. Since now that their star players are back, their aim is not only winning the East. Above all, the Nets are gunning for the championship. The young trio of Jarrett Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Chris LeVert alongside veterans such as Jordan and 3-point specialist Joe Harris makes this a realistic goal to achieve. Finally, the man who is holding all this together is none other than rookie head coach Steve Nash. In his interview with JJ Redick, Nash explains how he isn't hired to be the tactical wizard, but rather his first and foremost duty is to build up the culture of this Nets team. In his own words, Nash defined culture as a system of behaviors. So I have no doubt that going forward, there will be a great connection between the coaching staff and the team. After all, Nash was a floor general and a former MVP. One interesting trend is the luck of the rookie coach. For example, Steve Kerr won the chip following Mark Jackson's exit, Tyronn Lue taking over for David Blatt, and most recently with Nick Nurse helming the Kawhi Raptors. Perhaps this trend will continue with the Nash-led Nets. Our second prediction is that the most improved team will be the New Orleans Pelicans. This is the year for Pelican fans to be excited. In a football city such as New Orleans, the Pelican fans have been patient in this period of rebuilding from the Davis trade. Now, this season, I believe the team will take the next step and end a 2-year playoff drought, ushering in the next era of Pelicans basketball. See, it's a hard thing to move on from a generational talent like Anthony Davis. The Pelicans struck gold by getting Zion Williamson with the number 1 pick. Although, as hyped as a player like Zion is, wins are still needed to capture the hearts in this city. I see Brandon Ingram being more of a point forward this year, and I think that we can expect to see a rise in the number of assists he will dish out this season. It will be interesting to see the career trajectory between Ingram and Tatum going forward. Both have cemented themselves as the stars of their respective teams this season. Next, we have Lonzo Ball. Lonzo is coming into the season with an improved jump shot. If you compare his jump shot mechanics this season to last season, you will see a much more succinct motion in his shot. No longer are the days where Lonzo swung the ball across his head before releasing the shot, but instead this season, he's actually dipping the ball down and bringing it straight up. Now, if Lonzo can mold himself into a 3-and-D player, this will greatly improve the Pelicans. Let's not forget his already excellent passing game. The elephant in the room is that Ball's ability to finish around the rim is lackluster. But if he can become a deadly pick-and-pop player, then I guess it will overshadow his finishing. Our third prediction is that Harden will stay with the Rockets and make another playoff run. Now, this definitely hasn't been the start of the season Rockets fans wanted. With the rumors revving up for the departure of James Harden, some say he will end up in Brooklyn reuniting with past teammate Kevin Durant. Others speculate Harden will put on the 76ers jersey, but I don't foresee Harden being traded this season. The return that the Rockets will get for Harden just isn't worth it. Unless Harden is out there giving zero effort and throwing games on purpose, I just can't see the front office letting their superstar go. I think the duo of Wall and Harden will be better than what people imagined them to be. Wall's speed and slashing ability in combination with his passing will open up more Harden threes. Also, the Rockets have one of the most underrated offseason when they traded for Christian Wood from the Pistons. Watch for him to make a name for himself in Houston. Number 4, Collin Sexton will be an all-star this season. Okay, this is definitely the boldest take on this list, but we here at Hoop Central have great faith in the young bull Collin Sexton. He isn't talked about much because, well, it's Cleveland after all, and Cleveland basketball will forever be associated with LeBron James, just like MJ with the Bulls. Last season, Sexton finished with 20 points per game while shooting a respectable 38% from the three-point line. His stats speak for themselves, and it will continue to improve. What will propel him to all-star status will be the intangibles. My guy plays like he is trying to make the roster. He just plays so hard and with so much heart. There is just this tenaciousness about Sexton that not many people have. There are shades of Jimmy Butler in this young man, just a passionate player. Not gonna lie to you guys though, Collin Sexton looks like the type of player that will yell at you if you don't sprint back on defense. It is best to avoid eye contact with him. Sexton has already established himself as a formidable slash and an absolute speed monster. Things to improve for the young Cleveland guard are passing and the speed of his jump shot release. Now, after this video, go check out Sexton 2019 and 2020 season highlights to see what exactly I am talking about. And our last bold take for this season is that the LA Clippers will win it all this year. Let me tell you something. Disappointment is the best word to describe the bubble season for the Clippers. With all the hype surrounding this team, anything less than a championship was a disappointment for the Clippers. For the fans, it was a major letdown not to see a Battle of LA series for the final spot. I think that was what all of us hoped for, but instead we were gifted with Pandemic P. Moving on to this season, I believe we can expect a bounce back from the Clippers. In the off-season, they lost Sixth Man of the Year Montrezl Harrell and Landry Shamet. To fill the void left by those two, the Clippers acquired Kawhi's Toronto teammate and my fuzzy chef, Serge Ibaka, along with a scorer Luke Kennard. Now, Ibaka is a key piece to LA's championship run this year with his ability to stretch the floor and interior defense. On the other hand, Luke Kennard is an upgrade over Shamet. Kennard is a sharpshooter that averaged over 15 points per game and shooting 40% from three last season with the Pistons. Now, can the star duo of Kawhi and George bounce back? I say most definitely. The California natives have a lot left in the tank and are by no means washed just because their first run didn't end up to expectations. I got my chips all in for a Clippers championship.